As we continue to look into some of the country's most mysterious cold cases, we now head to Los Angeles in the 1940s, where a young actress was brutally murdered and her killer was never found. When America's Carl Hensley digs deeper into the case of the Black Dahlia, and we do want to warn our viewers, some of the following images may be graphic.
Los Angeles in the 1940s, the heyday of Hollywood where every young girl dreamed of making it big on the silver screen. For 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, it was a new home after leaving her mother and sisters on the East Coast. The aspiring actress moved to California after living on and off in Florida and Boston, setting her sights on fame and reuniting with her father, who abandoned her family when she was just a little girl. By the mid-1940s, Short was working as a waitress to support herself while dreaming of catching her big break into Hollywood's acting scene. However, her chance at stardom would never come. On a chilly morning in January 1947, a woman taking a walk with her daughter came across what she thought was a discarded shop mannequin. But after closer inspection, she came to the horrific realization she was looking at a dismembered corpse and ran to a nearby house to call police. Officers rushed to the scene and found the body of Short cut in half, drained of blood, and disemboweled. However, the most striking feature left on her body were 2 slits on her cheeks, giving her an everlasting smile. A smile that would haunt the city as police looked for her killer. Following her identification, reporters from the Los Angeles Examiner called her mother, eventually telling her of her daughter's death, prompting her to come to Los Angeles to help in the investigation. This started a media frenzy, with newspapers trying to get a scoop on the mysterious death and find the killer. The case then became sensationalized, with some painting the girl as an adventurous woman who prowled Hollywood Boulevard wearing a tight skirt and sheer blouse on the night of her murder. She then got the nickname that launched her into the fame she always wanted, the Black Dahlia. A week after her death, letters began arriving at newspaper offices, the writer claiming to be the killer, but all leads led nowhere. One even sent items belonging to Short, including her birth certificate, business cards, and photographs, but the case began to grow cold as authorities were stumped as to who was now known as the Black Dahlia Avenger. Over the years, more than 50 men and women confessed to the gruesome killing, but there was never enough evidence to convict anyone. But one suspect stood out, a notorious doctor named George Hodel Jr. Hodel's medical degree drew suspicion, as investigators believe whoever bisected Short's body and drained her blood had some degree of surgical skill. In the following years, more details about Hodel surfaced. During the initial investigation, his house was bugged. Transcripts of his conversations at home reveal his participation in illegal abortions and medical procedures, as well as paying off law enforcement officials who were getting too curious following the high-profile murder. He was even heard saying if he did kill the Black Dahlia, authorities couldn't prove it. Hodel eventually fled the country and died in 1999. But to this day, his son, Steve Hodel, a former LAPD detective who was only 5 at the time of the murder, claims his father committed the crime. His proof, items found in his father's collection. His investigation started with the discovery of a photo album owned by George Hodel Jr., which contained photos of a dark-haired young woman who Steve believes is Elizabeth Short. He also claims the house he and his father lived in at the time of the murder had a secret room where no children were allowed. Some say this is where Short was murdered, cut in half, drained of blood, and scrubbed clean before being dumped in a vacant lot. Forensic investigators went back to the house in 2014 with a cadaver dog and took soil samples, which turned up evidence of human remains. However, there never seemed to be enough evidence linking anyone to Short's murder, keeping everyone guessing as to who killed a young woman looking to make it big in the city of broken dreams. Carl Hensley, One America News.